I have just watched the most amazing 10,000 metre race at the European Athletics. I wasn't actually in Zurich to watch it. I was in front of my TV, which is still in London. But nonetheless, I just witnessed Mo Farah come home again with gold. But on his tail was a guy called Andy Vernon, who is actually from my hometown in Gosport. And I met him just a few weeks ago when I was running a mile and a 5k, and even asked him for running advice, and he gave me some lovely running advice, just especially with the mile. He just told me to just give it everything I got at the beginning and just keep on running until I got to the end. And that's exactly what I did, and I exceeded my expectations, and I now have my own little PB for the mile, which I think was about 8 minutes and 20 something seconds. Yeah. So, just witnessed that on telly, but that has nothing to do with today's topic. Today's topic is festivals. What's our favourite festival, and who would we like to see in the best ever lineup? If we could imagine our perfect lineup of a festival, who would that be? So, with that in mind, I must have written it with music in mind. I have to say, I'm not a big music festival goer. I have been to food festivals. In fact, I've worked a lot of food festivals because I worked in the wine industry and in coffee for some years. So I've been to quite a few of those up and down the country and all over. And so the biggest lineup there really is different types of coffee, different other food products, and lots of wine and sake. I know, it was a tough life. I know. Oh. Anyway, in terms of music festivals, this kind of crosses over actually. I went to a food festival which was hosted by Jamie Oliver, who I'm sure all of you would have heard of, and it was hosted on a farm which is owned by Alex James. Alex James was a member of the band Blur, so a big Britpop band from the 90s. And he now owns a cheese farm, which is wonderful. Great big space. And they had masses and masses of different food stalls and drink stalls, and you could try all these wonderful treats from around all over the UK, and lots of local produce from the farmers around there. But while that was going on, they also had some massive bands from my era, which was the 90s really, playing there, which was awesome. So I'm sorry for everybody in the US, you probably haven't heard these guys, but Dodgy were there. Dodgy were massive in like 96, 97. Bit of the kind of, I don't know if you'd call them indie or Britpop, or like, I'm not really sure where they sit in terms of music classification because that's not my strong point. But they sang a song called Good Enough. I'll try and find a link and pop it in the comments below, the description below. You could ask me questions in the comments, but I'll put my details in the description because that makes sense. Don't know what I'm thinking today. Anyway, so yeah, that was really, really awesome. In fact, Nella and I filmed the whole thing. It was last August. It was the last day of VEDA last August. I will definitely put a link in the description for that one so you can check it out. Please excuse the mild tipsiness. We enjoyed a lot of cocktails from the Grand Marnier bar in little bubble cups, which is why we kept going back, because funnily enough, I love bubble cups. Don't know what a bubble cup is? No? Go take a look. It's awesome. So who would be my ideal lineup? Well, actually there is another music festival that I did go to, although it's slightly more sophisticated. It's in a place called Henley-on-Thames, and it's where they have the regatta. They do rowing and things like that. It's marvellous, absolutely marvellous, darlings. And for the festival, what they do is they get iconic bands from decades and decades ago, but also recent times, and they put them all together for a wonderful selection of modestly wealthy people to sit and admire, and those include celebrities. So those of you in the UK who are familiar with the wonderful Cilla Black, actually those of you who've been around for some time may know her as a singer from the 60s, but she was sitting in front of me, which was quite cool because I actually think she's pretty awesome. And for an 80-year-old woman, she has amazing legs. Yeah, amazing, absolutely amazing. Anyway, I digress. So I saw there Jamie Cullum. I would absolutely recommend him in a top lineup because I think he's awesome. I love a bit of jazz every now and again, especially in a live entertainment context. I also saw the Beach Boys, who I thought I was going to hate live because they're pretty old now, and actually not all of them are around still, but they were pretty awesome too. And I have been to a lot of music festivals now I think of it. I went to Hard Rock Calling with my dad about a year or two ago, and I saw Bruce Springsteen. Now, I knew a few of his songs that are just, yeah, absolutely epic and remind me of my dad so much. Especially from when I was very, very small. But I didn't know all of them. But what I will say is the concert was just incredible. He absolutely knows how to please a crowd. So he was pretty awesome too. But if I had to pick anybody in my top lineup, oh my God, I can't even think right now. But at least I've shared with you some of the awesome bands and people that you probably wouldn't think I might like. Yeah. And I've also seen Kylie several times. Although she's a little bit grating these days. I've probably seen her about, 4 or 5 times. She's just pretty cool. Maybe Madonna would be good. And Prince. Yeah. I know, Anton, if you're watching, I don't talk much about Prince, but, he is pretty cool. I know you know that. Yeah, that's me for today. Waffling off again. So I'm going to now go and try and catch Usain Bolt. An impossible task, I know, because he runs super fast, but he's about to do his 100-metre sprint. So, wish me luck. See you for day 14 tomorrow. Oh, one last thing. Secret challenges for this week will be coming at you, so watch your inbox. I have lots of fun things planned. Bye-bye.